Hi guys, the Tories like to cook the books when it comes to figures like spending on public services, unemployment, and of course Brexit. So it isn't a huge surprise that Rishi Sunak told voters that a hung parliament is more likely than a Conservative wipeout at the next election. Now this is based on very poor modelling that used the local elections as a barometer for the general. The vote last week can't be used as an accurate tool for the general for a number of reasons. It excluded Scotland, it didn't have every English constituency included, people vote in the locals for different reasons, and of course turnout is very different. Rishi is taking the public for fools, but there's a reason why he's doing this.
You've spoken a bit about this potential hung parliament, but polling experts have been clear that you can't predict a general election result from the locals. Isn't that sort of taking people and your MPs for fools?
What the independent analysis shows that whilst of course this was a disappointing weekend for us, the result of the next general election isn't a foregone conclusion, and indeed actually is closer than, or the situation is closer than many people are saying, or indeed some of the opinion polls are predicting. And that's why I'm absolutely determined to fight incredibly hard for what I believe and for the future country that I want to build, and that's what I'm going to do. Fight for this country, fight for the things I believe, and deliver for everyone on the things that matter to them.
Okay, so what's this all about? This is about scaremongering, but it's also about trying to get the vote out. So people obviously didn't turn up, many people didn't turn up to vote for the Conservatives in the local elections because they couldn't be bothered. They're saying, look, this party has been in power for 14 years, they haven't delivered, what's the point in going out and supporting them? So by saying that there's a chance that the Conservatives could still stay in power, this is an attempt to encourage people on the Conservative side to come out and vote. Now, the other part of this, I think, is scaremongering. It's about suggesting to some Conservative voters, look, if you don't come out and vote and support the Conservatives, excuse me, there's a risk that we'll end up with a Labour government in coalition with somebody else. Obviously, the biggest scare would be the SNP. Saying, look, Labour will go into coalition with the SNP. The SNP will demand a second referendum on independence. Labour will give it, and this will break up the union. This is the sort of scaremongering that they're engaging in, and it's already begun. They could also say, well, if the Labour Party join up with the Liberal Democrats or the Greens, then they're going to push pro-European policies or more liberal immigration policies or net zero or something like that. So whatever coalition they're trying to sell, of course there'll be scaremongering involved. But also it's about sending a message to Conservatives who had sat at home during the local elections. You should come out now. There's still a chance for us to win this election. There's still a chance that the Tories can stay in power. But that's about selling an idea that you need to vote to keep the Tories in. But the vast majority, I think, of ordinary people don't want the Tories to stay in. Rishi Sunak can't be honest and say, look, we're going to be trashed. He has to sell this. This is the best he can do. He can't sell an idea that we're going to win. So his best hope is, look, there's a risk of a hung parliament. Labour can't form a government on their own, so they'll have to get into bed with the Liberal Democrats, Greens, SNP or someone like that. And I think that's the line they're going to go with. Vote Tory to keep out the SNP or the Greens or the Liberal Democrats. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.